If you're still charging by the hour, I hate to break it to you, but you are setting a ceiling on your income and your freedom. I learned this the hard way. When I first started freelancing, I was focused on being more efficient, and I didn't realize that I was actually making myself cheaper. The truth is, your clients don't care how long something takes. They care about the result you deliver. When you stop selling your time and start selling your value, that's when you break the income ceiling and you can actually make more from working less. In this video, I'm going to break down how hourly pricing quietly stunts your freelance growth, why value-based pricing attracts high-ticket clients, and the pricing framework I use that rewards speed, expertise, and results, not time on the clock. Before I started working with clients, I thought that charging hourly made sense. That's how jobs work, right? You work more hours and you get paid more. But trading time for paychecks is the employee mindset. And if you bring that mindset into freelancing, it'll keep you stuck at the same income level forever. Let me tell you a quick story that completely changed how I think about pricing. A factory manager once called an engineering consultant because one of their machines went down, and every minute that the machine wasn't operating was costing them thousands of dollars. So the engineer walks in, takes a look around for a few minutes, and then he tightens a single bolt, and the machine springs back to life. The next day, the manager got the invoice and he was outraged because it was for $10,000. He asked the engineer why they were billed so much when he was only there for a few minutes, and his response was, "You weren't billed for the time I was there, you were billed for the 20 years that it took me to know which bolt to tighten." The engineer wasn't being paid for a few minutes of work. He was being paid for the years of experience that let him solve the problem instantly. That's what freelancing is like. Clients don't hire you because of how long something takes. They hire you because you know which bolt to tighten. They're not paying for hours. They are paying for clarity and expertise and the peace of mind that you can solve their problem. And that's what value-based pricing is all about. What I've learned over 7 years of freelancing is that clients don't want another employee to manage. They really don't. They don't want to have to worry about checking your hours. They don't even want to see a time card for you. They want outcomes. In fact, if a client only cares that you are punching a clock, run, because that is not your ideal client. And if that is the type of client that you seem to be attracting, it's time to reposition, and we're going to get to that in just a second. If you want to succeed as a freelancer, meaning you want to scale, you want to level up your income without stretching yourself completely thin, you have to stop trading your time for money and start trading results. So how do you know what to charge for the results that you get for your clients? Whether you are pricing a project or a retainer, there are 3 steps that you need to follow. Step 1 is to define the win. Don't just list out deliverables, really define what success looks like to the client. Ask, what does this achieve? Is it earning your clients more traffic, more conversions, more visibility? Get really clear on what that win is. When you tie your work to an outcome, you're no longer just a commodity. You are a strategic partner. Step 2 is to price the impact, not the time. Stop tracking minutes and start tracking for the value delivered. If your work drives $10,000 in sales, charging $500 for 5 hours of work is way underselling yourself. Now, I know that pricing impact is where a lot of new freelancers get tripped up because they don't necessarily have that experience working with clients to know exactly what their work is worth. But there's a really simple way to figure out what to charge, and that is to ask other service providers. You can look on their website and see if they have their prices listed, or just start networking, make connections with other people who are doing similar work to what you're doing and find out what they're charging. I actually think there's way too much cloak and dagger around what to charge and what other people are charging, and that's actually one of the reasons that I decided to start a freelancing community. If you want to have a safe space to ask me and other freelancers any question about your business, I'll leave the link to learn more about the community in the description. After you define the win and price the impact, it's time to package the result into a clear, outcome-focused offer. Think of this as putting wrapping paper around your services. It's not that you're hiding anything, it's that you are polishing up the offer so that clients can clearly see the value. Here's an example from my own business. I used to call my services social media management services. Then I switched it to meta growth management. When I did that, I made it clear that I'm not just another social media manager. I am experienced in helping them grow on Instagram and Facebook, and that's a common goal for my e-commerce clients. And no surprise, signing clients got a lot easier after I made that change. To clarify, you don't have to have a clever name for your services. In fact, there are some roles where that doesn't really make sense. In those cases where you want to get really specific is with your niche statement. Your niche statement is a simple I help statement that clarifies who you help, the result that you deliver, and your service. You can then use this information on your LinkedIn profile, on your website, and anywhere else you market your services. Charging hourly actively punishes you for being good at what you do. So if there's one thing I hope you take away from this video, it's that your time is not the product. Your thinking, your process, and the results are. Pricing based on impact and packaging your work around results is how you build a stable and scalable freelance business. And if that's the kind of business that you want to build, make sure you grab my Stable Freelance Method workbook. This is a free resource and it's linked right down in the description. Inside, I walk you through the exact steps I followed to build a roster of high-ticket clients and generate consistent monthly retainer income. If you found this video helpful, make sure you're subscribed because I've got a lot more in store to help you build a stable freelance business.